Good morning. Here is the news at 10. First, the highlights. Lagos State government gives 30 days quick notice to owners of houses illegally converted to clubs, bars, others. NNPCL woos South Korean investors to Nigeria's gas projects. On the foreign scene, court sentences former Pakistan Prime Minister wife to 14 years. And in sport, Luton boss hails Nigerian striker after hat-trick heroics against Brighton. Now the details. I am Dele Agadumo. Lagos State government has given a 30-day final notice to owners, occupiers of residential buildings illegally converted to churches, mosques, clubhouses, lounges and bars across the state without approval for change of use to revert to the original use of the structure. General Manager of the Lagos State Building Control Agency, LASCA, Olaho Oki, says this applies to all structures located within residential areas and without requisite permit from relevant authorities. According to Oki, the notice is sequel to the distortion of the master plan of Lagos State, especially residential areas, by some people who, in gross disregard to the regulatory provisions of the law, turned residential areas to clubhouses and worship centers, thereby constituting nuisance to the environment. He stresses that the removal notice is imperative following security concerns of citizens and repeated complaints of non-adherence to safety and security guidelines issued to the club owners. Oki advises property owners to take this notice with all seriousness it deserves, as nobody will be spared in the effort to sanitize the state in line with the mega-city status vision of Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu. The Permanent Secretary, Civil Service Commission, Akimbode Obadino, has emphasized the importance of teamwork and collaboration to produce a competent workforce that is disciplined and productive. Addressing members of staff of the Commission at an interactive session, the Permanent Secretary described work synergy as crucial in the attainment of organizational set objectives and mandates. Obadino said that the interactive session will serve as a platform to gather information about some of the challenges hindering the effective discharge of duties among staff to address them. The highlight of the meeting was words of encouragement from heads of directorates to inspire members of staff and the assurance of rededication towards the implementation and realization of the Commission's programs through improved service delivery. The federal government has inaugurated the Tripartite Committee on the National Minimum Wage. Vice President Kashim Shettima inaugurated the 37-member panel at the Council Chamber of the State House in Abuja. With its membership cutting across federal and state governments, the private sector and organized labor, the panel is to recommend a new national minimum wage for the country. In May 2017, the House of Representatives moved to amend the National Minimum Wage Act for a compulsory review of workers' remuneration every 5 years. Consequently, the Minimum Wage Act of 2019, signed by former President Muhammadu Buhari, empowers the committee to deliberate and come up with an agreed wage, which would be eventually ratified by the National Assembly after due legislative scrutiny. Now to the rest of the stories. The Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, NNPCL, has held talks with the South Korean consortium on the development of gas projects in Nigeria. The discussions, which were held in Seoul, South Korea, were aimed at deepening NNPCL's drive to tap into the nation's vast gas resources to be a supplier of clean and affordable energy to the global market. South Korea is a major destination for liquefied natural gas exports, and the consortium, in collaboration with the Korean Export-Import Bank, has expressed ready interest in advancing discussions on investing in green fields and other gas development opportunities. The talks will lead to a Memorandum of Understanding, MOU, that will unlock strategic foreign direct investment in line with President Bola Tinubu's administration's policy of making Nigeria a prime destination for global investors. This represents a significant stride towards deepening the utilization of gas in country and growing gas revenues. The federal government has expressed sadness over the pronouncement of the military authority in the Republic of Niger, indicating that the republics of Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger have withdrawn membership of their countries from the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS. In a statement by the spokesperson of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Francisca Omayuli, the government said for half a century, ECOWAS had worked to promote peace, prosperity, and democracy in the region. The military junta in Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger have withdrawn from the ECOWAS with immediate effect. They simultaneously notified ECOWAS, the African Union, AU, and the United Nations of their withdrawal from the regional economic bloc, citing concerns about ECOWAS' divergence from its founding principles and influence from foreign powers. Now to foreign news. Pakistan's former Prime Minister Imran Khan and his wife Bushra Bibi have been sentenced to 14 years in jail in a case related to the illegal selling of state gifts. An accountability court in Rawalpindi, which deals with corruption cases, also ruled that the couple would be ineligible to contest for public office for 10 years, while also slapping a fine of 757 million rupees. The sentencing came a day after Khan was given a 10-year prison term for revealing state secrets. It was unclear whether the sentences were to run consecutively or concurrently. The convictions against arguably Pakistan's most popular politician came about a week before the general elections on February 8. In our sports, Luton Town manager Rob Edwards has showered encomiums on Nigerian striker Elijah Adebayo, saying he has a high ceiling to what he can achieve. Adebayo netted a hat-trick to help Luton to a 4-0 win against Brighton in Tuesday's Premier League game. The England-born Nigerian striker has now scored 8 goals in the Premier League this season. Luton has now moved out of the bottom 3 for the first time in nearly 2 months thanks to the impressive win. And the 2023 Africa Cup of Nations AFCON round of 16 fixtures have been concluded on Tuesday, paving the way for thrilling quarter-final clashes. It would interest you to know that Nigeria is among the 8 teams that advanced to the quarter-final stage. The matches played in the round of 16 were close contests, but the best teams made their way to the quarterfinals. The Super Eagles will on Friday, 2nd of February, take on Angola in the quarterfinal at the Stade Felix Houphouët-Boigny in Abidjan by 6 p.m. And that was our news at 10. Just before we go, maintain adequate distance from the vehicle ahead of you to avoid collision. You can follow us on like all our various social media platforms: X formerly Twitter, Lagos Traffic 961, Instagram, Lagos Traffic Radio 961. Watch us live on Facebook, Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM. On YouTube, subscribe and watch all our previous programs and news on our channel, Traffic Radio 961. Did you know that the Sanwo-Olu administration provided 61,000 units of single-door composite furniture for secondary schools? You can get more details on the Lagos State Government website. To end the news, are the highlights of the major stories. Lagos State Government has given a 30-day final notice to owners, occupiers of residential buildings illegally converted as churches, mosques, clubhouses, lounges and bars across the state without approval for change of use to revert to the original use of the structure. The Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, NNPCL, has held talks with a South Korean consortium led by Daewoo E&C on the development of gas projects in Nigeria. We also told you that Pakistan's former Prime Minister Imran Khan and his wife, Bushra Bibi, have been sentenced to 14 years in jail in a case related to the illegal selling of state gifts. And in sport, Luton town manager Rob Edwards has showered encomiums on Nigerian striker Elijah Adebayo, saying he has a high ceiling to what he can achieve. For contact with the newsroom, send a message to Lagos Traffic Radio at lagostate.gov.ng. That ends the news broadcast compiled by Adirayo Iduwolaya. I am Dele Agadumo. Good morning. Thank you for listening.